A case of West Nile virus has been detected here in the Bay State, right here in Western Mass, in fact. The news coming just weeks after positive cases of the virus were discovered in mosquitoes in both Holyoke and in East Longmeadow. Western Mass News reporter Glenn Kittle joining us live after getting answers from a local expert. Glenn.
Yeah, Chris, right now the State Department of Health will only say that the person who contracted West Nile got it in Hampden County. Now, earlier today, we spoke with a microbiologist who's telling Western Mass News the symptoms associated with West Nile and any developments going forward.
Worries me. Walking my dog at night will now have a little bit of that in the back of my mind.
It's West Nile virus madness in Western Mass.
Hopefully no more cases pop up. Hopefully it's the one.
The State Department of Public Health has announced the first human case of West Nile virus of the season, a man in his 40s exposed in Hampden County. Professor of microbiology at UMass Amherst and executive director of the New England Center of Excellence in Vector-Borne Diseases, Stephen Rich, tells Western Mass News they've been expecting human cases to start popping up.
We sort of wait for that every year. This is a perennial occurrence, right? So we know West Nile virus occurs every year in mosquitoes and in people. So we wait to see when it is and whether it's earlier than usual or later. This seems to be about the time that we start to see these things from years past.
The State Department of Health upgrading East Longmeadow to a moderate risk of contracting West Nile virus. DPH also reveals the man who is the subject of the first positive human case was diagnosed with meningitis. Rich tells Western Mass News the symptoms associated with West Nile and meningitis are similar.
Meningitis and encephalitis are swelling of parts of the brain, different parts of the brain. So I don't know the actual, the events that took place in terms of that diagnosis, but they're most presumably related.
Fever, headache, muscle aches, nausea, and vomiting, symptoms associated with the virus. But other than seeing your doctor to make sure your symptoms aren't severe, Rich says there's not much people can do when they're sick.
There's no vaccine and there's not really treatments. There's maybe some antiviral things that can be done, but yeah, the best thing is to avoid mosquito bites.
And Dr. Rich says avoiding those mosquitoes is fairly easy. Just wear long sleeves whenever you can. Put on your mosquito repellent whenever you can possibly put it on. And also try to avoid going out at times when mosquitoes are heavily present, like early in the morning and late at night. Reporting live for Western Mass News, I'm Glenn Kittle.
Glenn, thanks for that live report.